Hey guys, how's it going? I hope you're having a wonderful week. Today I'm continuing with my Celine Dion discography journey. And in today's video, we'll be listening to her second studio album, her 11th studio album from 1992 called Celine Dion. Now, looking at the track list, there are 15 tracks. The last track on the album is Where Does My Heart Beat Now? And I already listened to that track in my prior Celine Dion video where I listened to her debut English-speaking album called Unison. So I won't be listening to that song again, so I'll only be listening to 14 songs on this album, and the album is over 1 hour. Now, the only song I recall hearing from this album is track number 9, Beauty and the Beast, and that's it. But like always, if I start listening to a song and it sounds familiar, I'll let you guys know. So enough talking, let's get into the first track called Introduction. Alrighty, that was track number 1 and 2, Introduction and Love Can Move Mountains. Now, Introduction was fairly short. It was just instrumental, and there was also some French dialogue from Celine in that song as well. She was speaking a bit of French, and then that progressed into track number 2, Love Can Move Mountains. This is a great song. I love a great gospel choir. I love gospel music so much. This got me in the mood, and this got me energized, and I really enjoyed myself. What I also love about this song is that it was written by Diane Warren, who I love. She has written some of my favorite songs of all time. Love Can Move Mountains was also the 4th single off the album. So now we're gonna move on to track number 3, Show Some Emotion. Alrighty, that was track number 3, Show Some Emotion, and I ended up really liking this song. The first half of the song, I wasn't really feeling it. I wasn't really jiving with it. I thought it was a really nice track to listen to, and I really enjoyed the melody, but I was thinking, you know what, this probably wouldn't be a Celine Dion song I would listen to again. It's just a classic Celine Dion ballad. You can't really go wrong with it, but once the electric guitar was introduced about halfway through, I was done for. I love the electric guitar. I know I say the saxophone is my favorite instrument of all time, but the electric guitar and the piano is probably my second and third favorite, and I ended up loving this song. And one of the things I love about Celine Dion's earlier albums is that you get a mixed bag of sounds. Not only do you get pop, but you get R&B, you get gospel, you get the electric guitar, you get pop rock, so That's one of the things I love about these earlier Celine Dion albums. You truly get a mixed bag of sounds. So now let's move on to track number 4, If You Ask Me To.
Used to be that I believed in something. I said I'd never let nobody near my heart again, darling. If you ask me to, man, I'll do anything. Ask me to, give me all my words.
Alrighty, that was track number 4, If You Ask Me To, and this had to have been a single. It was the second single off the album, thank God. This is such a great song, and once again, it was written by Diane Warren. And Diane is such a beautiful name. I just want to point that out. I'm not just saying that because my mom's name is Diane, but it really is. It's just such a beautiful name. Oh, it looks like this song was a cover. It was originally recorded by Patti LaBelle for her 9th studio album, Be Yourself, from 1989. I did not know that. It does say that Celine's cover of the song was a big hit in the United States and Canada. I will say that this track, If You Ask Me To, is probably my favorite track on the album so far. But anyway, let's move on to track number 5, If You Could See Me Now.
Here they come, every night the same. If only you could see me now, the freedom that I walked away to gain. Free now. Goodbye, not so easy now. You could
Alrighty, that was track number 5, If You Could See Me Now. A great power ballad from Celine Dion. This is what Celine Dion does. This is what she's known for, these big power ballads. And I'm here for it. I will say though, some of the lyrics on this album are a little, I don't know, they're a little cliche, but they're very beautiful. And honestly, who cares? When Celine Dion sings these lyrics, who cares if they're a little bit cliche soundy? Because honestly, she could sing the phone book, even though they probably don't make phone books anymore. You know what I mean. She could sing anything and it would sound amazing. She could sing nursery rhymes. She could sing ingredients off of a Jolly Ranchers candy package, which I'm looking at right now. I don't know. She could sing anything and it would sound marvelous. So now we're gonna move on to track number 6, Halfway to Heaven. Ooh. Alrighty, that was track number 6, Halfway to Heaven. And if you know me, you know that I love the saxophone. It's my favorite instrument of all time. And that's why I really enjoyed this song, was because of the saxophone. If it wasn't for the saxophone, I don't think I would enjoy this song as much. In the beginning, I felt it was a little boring. It was probably going to be my least favorite song on the album until I heard the saxophone. I'm still not the biggest fan of this song, but if I was to go back to it, it would be because of the saxophone, because I just love listening to that instrument so much. I'm also very curious to know how much of a competition Mariah Carey and Whitney Houston were during this time for Celine Dion. Because this was 1992, the beginning stages of Celine Dion's breakthrough in the music industry. Also, Mariah Carey was blowing up at this time. Also, Whitney Houston, who was also in the game for quite a while since 1985, but she was still very prominent as well. So I wonder if there was friendly competition between the three of them. Mariah Carey, Whitney Houston, and Celine Dion. And from my understanding, I don't think Celine Dion and Mariah Carey ever collaborated, which I think is a little weird. You would think they would have at one point. It's a little funny because when I go to Google Images and I type in Celine Dion and Mariah Carey, there are images of them together, but the images are photoshopped. So you don't see any actual photos of them at award shows or wherever together. Anyway, let's move on to track number 7. Did You Give Enough Love?
I know you thought you were so good to me. Did you give enough love? Did you show that you cared? Did you give enough love? Did you give enough love? Did you show that you cared? Did you give enough love?
Alrighty, that was track number 7. Did You Give Enough Love? And I don't know, this song wasn't really grabbing me. It's probably my least favorite on the album. It sounds a little dated. I don't know if I'm the only one, but it sounds like a song from the 80s. I didn't think it was very interesting. I actually didn't even listen to the song in full. I was just kind of skipping through the song because I just wasn't very interested in it. It does say that Did You Give Enough Love was released as the 6th and final single from the album. I don't know, I'm sure some people like this song, but it didn't really do it for me. And just like my prior Celine Dion video where I listened to her first album, Unison, I'm looking at the professional reviews for this album, and once again, the hate is alive and well for Celine Dion, especially the Rolling Stone album guide, where they once again gave this album a 1 out of 5, just like her first album. So one of you did leave a comment on my prior Celine Dion video that one of the reasons why she received a bit of hate back then was because she was a French Canadian charting in the United States, and some people didn't like that apparently. But you look at the other reviews for this album and they gave it 4 out of 5, 3.5 out of 4, B-, and there we have the Rolling Stone 1 out of 5. I am a little confused because there's 2 different ratings from the Rolling Stone. One of them is Rolling Stone, and the second one is the Rolling Stone Album Guide. And there's 2 different ratings, so I don't know what the difference is. But anyway, let's move on to track number 8, If I Were You.
She can feel you drifting far away. If I were you, my prized possessions, take this to heart, and you never part. 'Cause when you lose your love, you lose what means.
Alrighty, that was track number 8, If I Were You, and I don't know why I was smiling throughout that song, and I wasn't smiling in a good way. I was smiling because this is the first time that this has actually happened where I was actually kind of falling asleep to this song, and I don't use that word a lot, I don't use that phrase a lot, the song put me to sleep, but the song was kind of putting me to sleep. I liked it. I liked the melody. It's a very beautiful song. And now that I think about it, this song did sound a little bit like a lullaby. But I did like the chorus on this song. I thought it was very precious and beautiful. If I were you, I'd hold affection higher than any star in sight. Take this to heart and you'll never part. These are the things that I would do if I were you. I don't know, this sounds like a song that you would maybe sing to a small child or a baby in the crib to make them go to sleep. And I'm not trying to be negative when I say that. This is a very beautiful song. So now let's move on to track number 9, Beauty and the Beast with Peebo Bryson.
Till as old as time. Beauty and the bittersweet and strange, finding you can change.
This song is my childhood right here. Beauty and the Beast by Celine Dion and Peebo Bryson. No matter how many times they remake the animated Beauty and the Beast from Disney, no matter how many times we get different variations of that movie, of that story, of this song, this version will always be the best version. 20 years from now, 50 years from now, 500 years from now, a classic. Actually, no, what am I saying? I'm so sorry, Celine. You have to move aside because the best version of this song is Angela Lansbury, Mrs. Potts, who sang the song in the animated movie. This song was also written by Alan Menken and Howard Ashman, who also wrote songs for The Little Mermaid and Aladdin, I believe. I mean, these guys wrote some of the most timeless Disney songs ever. Part of Your World, Arabian Nights, Be Our Guest, Belle, Poor Unfortunate Souls, Kiss the Girl, all the songs from The Little Mermaid and Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast. And the thing that was really tragic was that Howard Ashman, when he was working on Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast with Alan Menken, his health was declining due to AIDS. And months after the release of Beauty and the Beast, Howard Ashman did die and he did succumb to AIDS. And I already knew this. I didn't have to look it up on Wikipedia. I remember learning this when I was watching the bonus features on my Disney Blu-rays for Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast and The Little Mermaid. And I remember them dedicating one of those movies to him, or all of the movies, I don't remember, but I remember them saying something along the lines of, to the man who gave a beast his soul and a mermaid her voice, which... But thankfully, Alan Menken is still alive, and he did have a hand in crafting some of the new material for the live-action reboot of Beauty and the Beast from Disney that was released a few years ago. Now, the song Beauty and the Beast was hugely successful, and it earned both a Golden Globe and Academy Award for Best Original Song, as well as Grammy Awards for Best Song Written for Visual Media and Best Pop Performance by a Duo or Group with Vocals. It was also nominated for the Grammy Award for Record of the Year and the Grammy Award for Song of the Year. Also, Angela Lansbury's version of the song that she sang in the movie also received universal acclaim, obviously. A lot of people apparently didn't like Celine Dion and Peebo Bryson's version because they felt like it paled in comparison to Angela's version, which I did correct myself earlier and say that Angela's version is the best version of the song. And of course, Ariana Grande and John Legend did their version in 2017 to promote the new live-action movie, but honestly, we won't talk about that one. Anyway, let's move on to track number 10, I Love You, Goodbye.
Wish I could be the one who could give you love. You need someone willing to give their heart and soul to you. I'm not the one you need. I love you. Baby, it's not gonna
Alrighty, that was track number 10, I Love You Goodbye, and I really enjoyed this song. She sounds great on it. She sounds great on all these songs, but this one in particular I really enjoyed. I don't know what it was about this song. It was everything, the production, the melody, her voice. I just really liked it, and honestly, I don't have much to say about it other than I just really enjoyed myself. Unfortunately, this wasn't a single, but I wouldn't mind if it was. So now let's move on to track number 11, Little Bit of Love.
Look at you, baby. The picture of a broken man. Little bit of love can go a long way sometimes. A little bit of love is really all you need. Then when the morning comes, you'll be good as new. A little bit of love is really all you need. 'Cause true love is all I say.
Alrighty, that was track number 11, Little Bit of Love, and I could definitely see Mariah Carey or Whitney Houston singing this song. It's definitely more R&B inspired, and I liked it. I don't know if I'll listen to it again. It did sound a little bit like a filler track. I just feel like this song doesn't have a lot of replay value. It does sound a little ordinary, but who knows, maybe a lot of you out there like this song, but it didn't really grab me. So we will now move on to track number 12. Ooh, I like the title of this track, Water from the Moon.
Looked everywhere I can just to find a clue. And I run circles round the sun chasing after you. Why do I gotta do? Do I gotta get away from the moon? Get away from the moon.
Alrighty, that was track number 12, Water from the Moon, and this was a very beautiful song. I really enjoyed it. I just really love the title of this song, Water from the Moon. It's just really interesting. This is just another great Celine Dion power ballad that I would definitely listen to again. And it was the 5th single from the album, and it was released on my birthday. I turned 3 years old. Wow. So now we'll move on to track number 13, With This Tear.
With this tear, I belong. And again, you promised me that you'd never
I'm speechless. No words at all. Definitely 100% one of the best tracks on the album. Wow. This touched my heart. It really did. And the song was written by Prince. It got me teary-eyed. I wanted to cry. I was so close to crying. The lyrics just ripped my heart out. It's not fair, with these arms I held you when you told me you were dying. I had less courage, it's true, and you wrote every day, writing about the things that we could do when your pain went away. But all that went away was you, with this tear. How am I supposed to continue with the album now? We still have one more track, and I physically can't continue with this video. So we still have one more track left. Track number 14, Nothing Broken But My Heart. Alrighty, that was the final track of the album, track number 14, Nothing Broken But My Heart. My heart's a little broken after listening to With This Tear and now Nothing Broken But My Heart. This was such a great way to wrap up the album. I was definitely getting the feels, and this is a great song. This is a great track. She sounds great on it. Everything is great about this song, and With This Tear, I mean, that's a wrap, ladies and gentlemen. And that is all 14 tracks of Celine Dion by Celine Dion, and I really enjoyed myself listening to this album. There are a lot of great songs. She sounds great. This is classic Celine Dion, a lot of power ballads and a lot of emotion. I feel like there was a bit of filler on this album. I feel like it didn't need to be 14 songs. It's actually 15 songs with Where Does My Heart Beat Now? It definitely could have been a few songs shorter. It did drag a little bit in a couple parts, in particular the middle. If the album was shortened just a little bit, I probably would have liked it a lot more, but I still really enjoyed the album. Like I said already, there's some great songs. I love the production. She mixes pop with gospel, R&B, pop rock, and jazz, the saxophone. I mean, you get everything on this album. This will definitely be a Celine Dion album I will go back to in the future because there's so many great songs on here. I mean, at the end of the day, this is classic Celine Dion. You know what you're getting yourself into when you sit down and listen to this album. So if you love Celine Dion and you love her voice, you love her lyrics, I imagine you'll love this album. I feel like this is a great continuation off of her first album. I liked Unison, and I also like this album as well. So I feel like both albums complement each other really nicely. So what do you guys think of the album? What are your favorite tracks from this album? Maybe you completely did not like this album. Tell me why. Maybe you love it. Maybe it's one of your favorite Celine Dion albums of all time. Tell me why. So I think that's all I wanted to say on the album. In my next Celine Dion video, we'll move on to her third studio album called The Color of My Love. Yes. So thanks for watching, guys. You can find me on Instagram. You can find me on Twitter. You can message me. You can tell me other artists I should check out. I'm open to any artists from any decade. You can find me on Apple Music. You can check out my playlists and so on and so forth. So thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Take care.